Hello, how are you all? I hope you're doing well. If you are watching this on Thursday, March 3rd, I will be live tomorrow, March 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern. I try to tell you guys as much as possible. I know some of you have said you don't get the notifications, so I'll be live tomorrow at 8 p.m. if you would like to join. They're usually a lot of fun. I am so happy about Elon Musk and Simmons calling out Joe Biden, which if you read the title, this is the subject matter of the video. And they just did it in quite a funny way. And I'm so glad they did, because this is something I've talked about now for a few years. And I'll get to the tweets that were last night, and then we'll look into what they mean in just a minute. We have all of these Democratic, progressive, climate change leaders, and they all talk about going full electric car, but they never mention Elon Musk and Tesla. And Tesla is the largest and arguably the most innovative electric car manufacturer in the entire world. And they act like Elon Musk and Tesla doesn't exist. And one of the biggest examples of this was back in 2020. So Gavin Newsom, who is the governor of California, by the way, in 2020, the headquarters of Tesla was in California. That year, Gavin Newsom announced that by the year 2035, he wants only electric cars sold in California. He also is really big with climate change and super progressive policies and all of that. Well, that same year, the policies in California were so bad, it made it impossible for Tesla to do business there. So Elon Musk pulled out. And let's just go back in time for a second. So this is what was happening in California. They were not letting him reopen. He was like, I have to go. So this is basically what he tweeted out about the matter. He said, Tesla is filing a lawsuit against Alameda County immediately. The unelected and ignorant interim health officer of Alameda is acting contrary to the governor, the president, and our constitutional freedoms and just plain common sense. He said later, frankly, this is the final straw. Tesla will now move its headquarters and future programs to Texas/Nevada immediately. Not only is Tesla the largest electric car manufacturer in the entire world, it was the only car manufacturer left in the state of California. And you would think when he announced this, it made news. You would think Gavin Newsom would step in and say something and help and say, no, we want to keep you here. You are in line with our goals as a state and government. But no, this is the treatment that he got from Democratic elected officials. This is Lorena Gonzalez. She's a Democratic official, and she said, F Elon Musk. And he saw this and said, message received. So this is how Elon Musk is treated. Okay, now let's fast forward to today. This happened yesterday. So Joe Biden tweeted out, Ford is investing $11 billion to build electric vehicles, creating 11,000 jobs across the country. GM is making the largest investment in its history, $7 billion to build electric vehicles, creating 4,000 jobs in Michigan. Well, Elon Musk responded, and he said this. He said, Tesla has created over 50,000 U.S. jobs building electric vehicles and is investing more than double GM plus Ford combined. FYI to the person controlling this Twitter, which is such a great own, and it's true. Well, Simmons saw this and decided to follow up with even more. So Simmons says, actually, Elon Musk makes a solid point, President Joe Biden. The president doesn't mention Tesla, perhaps because Tesla is non-union and moved to Texas, a right-to-work state. Give Elon Musk/Tesla its due. They are game changers and should be heralded. And Simmons is absolutely right and points out that. So speaking of unions, I've often said a lot of politicians are bought and paid for by unions, and here Joe Biden just admits it. Joe Biden says, I make no apologies. I am a union man. Those are words out of his mouth. And it says later on, over the next 19 months, Biden also became the union candidate. Labor organizations contributed $27.5 million to his campaign and other groups that supported him. His opponent, former President Donald Trump, took less than $360,000 from those labor ties. So is Gene Simmons right? Is it because Joe Biden is bought and paid for by the unions? Typically, when people donate that much money to your campaign, you owe them a few favors. What was kind of interesting too, if you look up and just Google why Elon Musk isn't unionizing his workers at Tesla, you'll see all of these accusations. You'll see accusations that he doesn't want them to be unionized. You see a story about how he fired a worker that wanted to be unionized. You see how they work in terrible conditions and all of these things. Well, on the flip side of that, it also appears that Elon has always been really upfront and open about the conditions of his workers and about unionizing. And I found this interview. This is actually a car manufacturing magazine, but they asked him about this. And this is a few years ago, but just listen, it makes a really good point and something I actually wasn't even aware of. Elon says they can form a union whenever they want and there's nothing I can do to stop them. California is a very pro-union state. They just don't want to. And the article points out this is a key thing that many critics seem to miss. It's not up to Elon whether Tesla employees form a union or not. It's up to employees. In fact, Elon and other Tesla execs are not legally allowed to interfere with employees creating a union. So the person interviewing him brings up this rumor that he fired an employee that wanted to unionize. This was back in 2018. And this is how Elon responded. He said about 2% of Tesla, including hourly and hourly, union and non-union, were let go in an annual review. Only known union person fired was a guy who repeatedly threatened non-union supporters verbally and on social media and lied about it. So you see, again, there is more to the story. It meets the eye. And I wanted to bring this up. So this was just random on Twitter in 2018. And someone was asking Elon about the working conditions at Tesla. So this user says, so what's up with the pay like at Tesla factory, Elon? What are the benefits? I'm not down with that. So it took me a minute to know what that meant. And Elon responded. He said, we've always provided healthcare hourly wages above union and Tesla stock. Also, free drinks and snacks. Try to make it fun too. Top 10 hourly workers cumulatively and received Tesla stock now worth $1 million to $2 million. Nobody wants UAW, so that's the workers union. So UAW keeps trashing Tesla and me via third parties. So there's always a lot more to the story. And I also want to bring up where Gene Simmons said that Texas was a right-to-work state. And I thought this was kind of cool. So Texas is a right-to-work state. This means that under Texas Labor Code, a person cannot be denied employment because of membership or non-membership in a labor union or other labor organizations. So remember, he moved from California, which is a very pro-union state, to Texas, which is a right-to-work state. Another thing that I think is worth pointing out and why I think a lot of people try to trash him so much is because he is a wild card. He doesn't really go along with the approved narrative, whatever that may be. He just says what's on his mind. I don't see him as someone that is establishment. Yes, he is very wealthy and very successful, but he is not the establishment. He sort of reminds me of a Joe Rogan, maybe a Dave Portnoy, a Donald Trump. I sort of put him in that category. You might not like all of them, but you have to admit they are wild cards. And I think that's why a lot of the sort of useful idiots on the liberal side do not like him so much. And what's so funny is being a free thinker used to be heralded by liberals, but having an open mind, thinking for yourself, freedom of expression, freedom of thought, questioning authority, those all used to be liberal principles. But today, these are actually our liberals. What has happened? Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you later. Bye.